Few proclamations tonight and a busy agenda, so we're going to get started. Could you please bow your heads? Let us pray for the residents of Diamond Head, elected officials, appointed members, and employees that are dedicated to working together to secure the future of Diamond Head that will be prosperous for all of us and for future generations to come. Let us pray for the victims of the recent storms. May His grace be placed upon them as they work to recover and rebuild their communities. May you place your peace upon our great nation. For this and all unspoken prayers, we ask for your blessing. In His name we pray. Amen. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor DeBrio.
Here.
Councilmember Finley.
Here.
Councilmember Lisi.
Here.
Councilmember Cumberland.
Here.
Councilmember Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Marr.
Here.
Could I get a motion to confirm or adjust the agenda? Councilman Cumberland moves to confirm. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. All in favor?
Aye.
The next regular scheduled meeting of the City Council will be held on April 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in Council Chambers located at City Hall. I see Miss Cynthia Chavan has come in with CASA, and you do have 2 other meetings to attend. Is that correct? One more, okay. So if the therapy dogs, do y'all mind if I get Cynthia up here for the CASA proclamation real quick? Okay. So Miss Cynthia?
I promise I'll be quick, okay, Mayor?
Thank you. Ooh, okay.
Can I just say a couple words?
Definitely.
Okay. First, I'd like to thank y'all for having me speak a little bit today. Obviously, I'm Cynthia Chavan. I'm the director of CASA. We advocate for children in foster care, which includes, of course, Diamond Head in Hancock County. In 2022, CASA advocated, 77 CASA volunteers advocated for 222 children here in Hancock County. Those same 77 volunteers, many of which live in your city, contributed over 3,200 hours of volunteer service. Just like Mr. Clark's wife, Nancy. My volunteers are incredibly invaluable to the courtroom and to making sure that the needs of children are addressed in Judge Favre's court. The 77 volunteers wrote over 200 court reports, and 95% of the recommendations that they made became court-ordered services in Judge Favre's court. We are now in a position to be able to provide advocacy to children who are still in the homes. As you know, there's been a national push to keep kids in their homes and provide services in lieu of removing and the trauma that, of course, that would impact a child and a family. So the push is now to keep kids in home. And we've been able to continue to address and meet that need by supporting volunteers in those types of cases as well. The month of April is really busy for us. We use it as a forum as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month to educate and to mobilize the community. We actually had our largest event of the year, which is Touch a Truck, which is a child-friendly event in which we had over 1,000 children in Bay St. Louis at the Hancock County Government Annex last Saturday, some of which I was lucky enough to see you there at that event. Over 1,000 children, probably just as many adults were there. And next week, we'll train a group of 12 to 14 new volunteers to advocate for us. Like I said, we have about 20 kids that need an advocate right now, so hopefully that number of volunteers will be able to meet that need. And the last thing I just wanted to share with you all is that on Thursday, April 27th, this card is an invitation to our annual Light of Hope ceremony. The City of Diamond has been very gracious in the past to open itself up to us to have this event, but we like to move it every year. And this year at Main Street United Methodist in Bay St. Louis, we will be holding this event. It's an outdoor event, so you bring your own lawn chair. We will be naming the CASA Volunteer of the Year, and I wanted to share with you all because she's a resident of Diamond Head. Our 2023 CASA Volunteer of the Year is Ms. Diane Altsman. The CPS Supervisor or Worker of the Year is Ms. Demetria Valentine from Pearlington. Our Outstanding Community Professional is a Hancock County Youth Court employee, really an unsung hero in that youth court that's been with youth court for more than 20 years, Miss Amy Dunn. We will also be acknowledging the service that Sergeant Stephen Robin and Officer Brandon Astorf provided to this community, as well as to children, and we will be naming both of them the Julie Cannon Champion for Children recognitions. Our keynote speaker for the event is Public Service Commissioner Sean Tindall. So I would love to have y'all come. I would love to have more people there than I have space to put them, and it is an event that's free of charge. I'll close by saying the Blue Ribbon campaign started in 1989 with a grandmother, Miss Bonnie Finney, tragically lost her grandson as a result of child abuse. She didn't know it was happening. Child abuse and neglect remain topics that largely stay in the darkness and people don't know what's happening. It's important for us to wear the blue ribbon, to tell people why we're wearing it, and to, of course, shed light on this topic. Because as we become more inquisitive and more concerned about kids, our children are better protected from it. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, and thank you for the amazing work you do.
Thank you.
So we have a proclamation to give to you tonight. For Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month from the City of Diamond Head. Whereas the City of Diamond Head prides itself on giving back to the community, contributing to the quality of life among our citizens, and being a safe place for our families to live, work, and raise their families. And whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and feel free from sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas 77 volunteers and advocated for 222 Hancock County child victims of abuse and neglect. Whereas CASA of Hancock County speaks for the best interest of abused and neglected children who are involved in the youth court and child protection services systems through no fault of their own. And whereas governmental community, businesses, and faith-based organizations come together with individual citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness for those children fallen to victim of abuse and neglect. We, the mayor and the city council, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Child Abuse Awareness and Prevention Month and urge all the citizens of the city of Diamond Head, Mississippi, to participate in raising awareness and helping to prevent future child abuse and neglect. Proclaimed by the mayor and city council on this 4th day of April 2023. And thank you again for all your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And now we are going to proclaim National Therapy Animal Day. So if you all with your therapy dogs want to move forward. Hey, Carmel. I'm going to have to say she was very friendly at the farmer's market, giving everybody kisses, so I don't know. Oh, look. I like your police card. You all might want to stay for the presentation of the dog park after this because it's going to fit right in with the proclamation. Okay. There are 1,000 of pet partner therapy animal teams serving in the communities across the United States. And whereas Pet Partners has designated April 30th as National Therapy Animal Day, and whereas Pet Partners therapy animal teams in the city of Diamond Head play an essential role in improving human health and well-being through the human-animal bond. And whereas Pet Partners therapy animal teams make millions of visits per year in settings such as hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and hospice. And whereas Pet Partner therapy teams interact with a variety of people in our community, including veterans, seniors, patients, students facing literacy challenges, and those approaching the end of life. And whereas these exceptional therapy animals who partner with their human companions bring comfort and healing to those in need. Now, therefore, I, Nancy DePrio, Mayor of the City of Diamond Head, do proclaim April 30th, 2023 as National Therapy Animal Day in the City of Diamond Head and encourage our residents to celebrate our therapy animals and their human handlers. Further, I publicly salute the service of the therapy animal teams in our community and in the communities across our nation. Thank you all for your tremendous work with these animals. And now I think we'll come down and get a group picture because it's probably a lot easier for us to come down than you all to come up. Okay. So next we're going to move on to an update of the Diamond Head Dog Park from the Diamond Head Dog Park Steering Committee. And first, before you get up, anybody here with the Diamond Head Dog Park, if you don't mind standing up? Donna, stand. I see you not standing. So we just want to say we know how hard you all have been working. Thank you very much. Okay, now we have Miss Barbara Gibbons coming to the podium, and she is going to do the presentation.
My name is Barbara Gibbons. My husband and I have lived here with our kids since January of '91, and it was supposed to be for 1 year, but it's 30-some years later. I know. We live on Mahalahui, and we were about the 7th or 8th house, and there are about 55 houses on Mahalahui now, so there's been a lot of growth. We do have this PowerPoint, and the first page gives you a picture of the steering committee at the event last year. And then we have the kickoff meeting for the dog park was December 10th, 2020, which was almost 2+ years ago. And we will be having our 3rd annual dog park day on April 15th. And the dog park steering committee, since the kickoff meeting in December 2020, we have met over 100 times, and we will continue to meet after the dog park is built. We will assist with park maintenance and the annual dog park day to raise funds for the park. There are many communities on the coast that have a dog park, and we're one community that does not have it. Purpose of the dog park: the first dog park was started as a social experiment in Berkeley in 1979. The park was a great success that came with many incredible benefits to the community and inspired communities around the world to start their own dog parks. So what do you do at a dog park? You take a break. Take a break from your daily routine is usually beneficial, especially when you get out and about. Visiting the park not only gets you out of the house, but it gives you a break from retracing the same steps in your neighborhood day in and day out. Change is good. No leash. This only benefits the dog, right? Well, walking or running without having a dog on the other end of a leash gives both you and your dog greater freedom of movement. Your dog is free of the leash, and you are free of the leash. This means less effort and less stress for you. Socializing. Your dog will hopefully learn to socialize with other dogs. This can be a great benefit to both you and your pet if it acts afraid of people or of other dogs when you take it for a walk, or it is overly protective or aggressive. One of the first things obedience classes stress is socializing. And the dog park does have a section for small dogs and large dogs. So all the dogs will not be in the same section. Amenities for people. Most don't, but a few parks have amenities for people such as benches, picnic tables, or places to sit in the shade. You're not apt to find a vending machine in a dog park, probably a good thing, but you may find a comfortable place to sit and relax. Watch your pet play. Watching your pet have a good time is good for you, if for no other reason than it makes you happy. Have a seat at a park table and enjoy your pets playing. Share lessons learned. You can often learn some useful tips by listening to what other pet owners have to say or what some of their experiences have been. Now, this is a little bit hard to see, and we can give you handouts for this, but the steering committee visited all of the sites in Diamond Head that were available for a dog park. And they spent months selecting. They had certain ideas and requirements to meet. They visited every property in Diamond Head that was large enough for the park. We reviewed city-owned, POA, and private properties for the park. The POA indicated they did not have any property to donate for the park. The top 8 properties were evaluated, and the city's property at the Twin Lakes was selected. And the Diamond Head Dog Park design criteria. We looked at the dog parks all around the country. We have many residents in Diamond Head who had dog parks in like Portland, Oregon, and Michigan, and Florida, and you name it, and what their parks provided, also along the coast. So what can we offer to all kinds of people? We went to a designer, architect, no 90-degree angles in fences, double gate entry for each fence park area. So when you walk into the dog park, your dog, if it gets loose, cannot go out. You're going to be going, there's a double fence there. Dog hose-off area behind double gate entry. Water fountains for each park, both human and dog accessible. Benches and or picnic tables located in a recessed area along the tree line. Garbage cans with dog poop stations. Water feature, spray or sprinkler area or dog concrete pond. Handrail on Diamond Head West adjacent to the pond crossing. Walking path to get to restroom at Twin Lakes Pavilion on the other side of the pond. Security fence along the front with gates to secure at night with locks. Aluminum, wrought iron, or chain link fence. No spikes on top. The color was black. A fishing pier and walking trail located around the pond and in the woods. Play equipment. Culver's Toys. Donations bricks located or donor and sponsors. Memorial walk area for rainbow pet names. City Public Works. Hose spigots and gate access to fence areas for mowers. Recycle plastic benches along the walkway near the pond. Location for birdhouses made by Boy Scouts from the community. Dog park rules signage, dog park signs with logos. It's not just you don't let your dog loose and leave your dog and go to the grocery store. You stay with your dog. There are requirements. Now, I say that because I coached the Diamond Head swim team for many years, and I would stand at the pool, and I would look at the ball fields, and people would park their car and let their dogs run in the ball field. And that's not the purpose. Not to tear it up, not to make a mess there. And I would tell them, and I didn't really have authority, but I said, you'll be ticketed if anybody finds you, and they would pack up and go away. But that's not the purpose of the ball fields. Car parking and golf cart parking spaces on the pavement, handicap parking and access concrete. Landscaping behind the benches and walking trail along the pond to screen fenced areas. Also between parking area and the dog park. Entrance building facade in front of the double gate entry to look like a dog house with a storage area, community bulletin board, park rules, and logo on front. Restrooms and storage. Phase 2 is the entire perimeter fencing, shade cover over all recessed park areas. So it's a place that people, adults like to go, and children. There are dog parks all along the coast, and members of our committee have visited them. Pascagoula, Ocean Springs, Biloxi, City of Gulfport, Long Beach, Pass Christian, Waveland, City of Bay St. Louis, and also on the beach in Bay St. Louis, Waveland. I think you can take your dog on the beach up until April 1st, I think. And after that, it's off limits. And the Envision 2040 work showed the dog park location in the planning stages. Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail. The committee had meetings with Orion Planning to establish the site plan. Now, you've probably seen these around the community, and at the 2 dog park days we've had posters up, and have also been posted on Facebook. Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail donations and grants, and I'm not going to read the entire list, but it gives all the people. The committee worked on grants and donations for a total of $188,000. plus an additional $75,000 coming soon to bring the total to $263,000. We've had members of the community and corporate support for the dog park. We did have a temporary dog park, and everybody wanted to know why it was so small, and we said it was temporary. And then why did it go away? We said, well, it was temporary. So we borrowed it from the city of Slidell, and then another community wanted it, and so we passed it on to the next community. The mayor of Slidell is also a Diamond Head resident. He helped us get that. We had Eagle Scout Thomas Conkle build park benches and birdhouses for us as part of his Eagle Scout project, and did a wonderful job on that. Really great kid too. Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail, we had a logo contest, and the logo on our shirts right here is the logo that won. So we had members of the community, some were teenagers and kids and adults, and that was the winner. And the Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier Rabies and Microchip Clinic. On the 2021 Diamond Head Dog Park, we did do the Rabies and Microchip Clinic. Had a very good turnout for that. When you have events like that, people tend to have their dogs taken care of. Now these are pictures of the inaugural Dog Park 2021. We hosted Rabies and Microchip Day on City Hall on the day before the dog park. And the second annual dog park was in 2022. And we certainly had a very wide selection of dogs. And it was fun to watch people come in very early and stay and all throughout the day with their dogs. And it was a very relaxing. It was. It really was. It really was. And so we had the second annual, first year we had it at Twin Lakes, second year we had it at the South Side, and this year we're going to have it again at the South Side because it's a big location to have our event. And last year was the first year we did anything like this. It was kind of stressful for us, but we put it together, and it turned out very well, and these are our sponsors up there. And so we're hoping now we got all the kinks out of it, we'll have a good time this year. And Diamond Head First Municipal Excellence Award was given to the second annual Dog Park Day. And that was an award from our city. And the theme this year is Woofstock. And those of us who are old enough understand what that is. So we have all kinds of events planned again. And we did, last year, we donated dog food. They asked, the animal shelter asked for Purina, and we had an entire pickup truck of dog food that was donated. We also had the rabies clinic and the microchipping. And we have some posters or handouts out front if you want one. Take one before you leave. And so far, we've raised $4,425 for the 3rd annual Dog Park Day. And I think we've kind of pushing ourselves to do, I don't want to throw a number out there, but it'd be lovely if we did $10,000. And we're just going to try to do that. And here we have the Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail from the Patano Engineering. And again, this is a little bit small, but there are handouts available for that. And the Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail the project is ready to bid. The Diamond Head Twin Lakes Fishing Pier and Trail probable cost under grant amount. It's $25,000 short, excluding the bid alternate number 1 for entry building. The entry building we're still working on, right? We might be able to have a community member build that for us. So we're looking for $25,000 in city funding to complete our project. And again, Nancy mentioned we're going to continue having a dog park committee in existence every year to help with the upkeep and so forth, make sure it's going well and get community input. And one thing we're thinking about doing is having maybe a Halloween, a Halloween contest again for the dog park, dog people. Okay, does anybody have any questions or? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we just wanted to do, okay, we do have 2 more presentations to do. And we wanted the council, because some of you are new and didn't know how hard these folks have been working, but it's been since 2020, every Thursday meeting, and we're finally ready to bid it and build it. So next we have Miss Barbara. Oh, Amanda? Okay.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Acker Armstrong, and I've been a Diamond Head resident on and off for about 43 years. My mother, Briarly, still resides in our original house. My husband, Alan, and I have 2 sons, 9 and 7, and we also have a very active dog. I am one of about a dozen committee members of the Diamond Head Dog Park Steering Committee. The committee has been working diligently for over 2 years, planning and fundraising for our dog park. Diamond Head is a very dog-friendly committee, but it is a real challenge to find a place to safely exercise our dogs. Older residents in particular have limited options. The Twin Lakes site was chosen for the dog park as it is an existing recreational facility with existing amenities, like the pavilion, restrooms, and a walking path. Dog parks are increasingly becoming a standard amenity in cities and towns and neighborhoods throughout the United States. Diamond Head is the only city on the Mississippi Gulf Coast without a dog park. In addition, the cities along the Gulf Coast built their dog parks without fundraising by their residents. Since December 2020, the steering committee has raised funds through donations from residents, corporate donations, and the 2021 and 22 dog park days. The 3rd annual dog park day is scheduled for April 15th from 12 o'clock to 4:30 on the south side. We invite you all to come, and we look forward to you bringing your dogs and having a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Barbara. Okay.
Hi, I'm Barbara Easler, and I'm here on behalf of this Dog Park Committee. We believe in this project and have worked so hard to make it happen for almost 3 years. We and many members of the community want it as much as the golfers want the golf courses or the swimmers want the pools. You all know how many people have dogs here in Diamond Head, but many of us are not able to walk them safely and give them the exercise that they need, or some of us don't have fenced backyards. The dog park would make it so much easier on those of us older people who can't do the walking. We are the only city on the coast of Mississippi that does not have a dog park. Most cities in the country now have dog parks. Even the truck stops have dog parks. We're only asking for $25,000 to get the dog park started. At least one of the dog parks on the coast paid $1.2 million. We are just asking for a fraction of that. I myself moved to this community to take care of my ailing mother-in-law. We gave up 10 acres to move here to a house that has a small backyard. My dog was used to running and is now confined to this tiny space. I love this community and I never want to leave. So I really hope that you will consider giving us the $25,000. Thank you.
Okay, is there any more comments from the Diamond Head Dog Park Steering Committee? Mr. George, do you have a comment?
I think I do.
Yes, you do have a It would not be the dog park without a comment from Mr. George.
First of all, thank you, Mayor. You have donated so many hours.
And you have. The whole committee has. It's been a family of workers.
No.
We love you, George. And I want to mention, George had made us a really cute booth on our inaugural dog park day, and it's called Smooch-a-Pooch, and we had the best time with that booth. So that booth will be put up on April 15th, and we're going to be honoring Mr. George Gala. So I want every resident in Diamond Head, even if you don't have a dog, you don't like dogs, you think they stink, come on out to the dog park day and enjoy it, and stop by Mr. George's booth, Smooch-a-Pooch, and visit Mr. George, because that is in honor of him. And we've got a lot of things going on that day. We've got Diamond Head School of Fine Arts doing face painting. We've got the Smooch Pooch. We've got Cokes, hot dogs, and drinks for sale. We've got a bake sale. We have a silent auction. We have a yard sale. And help me out. We have T-shirts for sale. And that's it, Liz. And we love animals. So with all that being said, I spoke to the city manager before the meeting. Do we feel likely this will be on the next agenda? Okay. All right. We can discuss it? Okay. So thank you all for coming. I'm not sure if you want to stay, but thank you all, and thank you for your hard work. We greatly appreciate it. And I want to say before you all leave, because I forgot this very important message, none of this dog park funding would be possible without the hard work of Senator Philip Moran. So if you see him out and about, $150,000 plus an additional $75,000 he got for us with the assistance of Jay McKnight, Representative Jay McKnight. Please give him a big thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're moving on to, those two are off. There was another resident that wanted to talk about the dog park. Jeannie? Jeannie? Honey, come talk. I didn't see you. I'm so sorry. And now they left. I got your back. Come on.
I just want to know, why do we need $25,000 more dollars?
Because that's the cost of the dog park. We could cut down more, but we have cut down a lot.
It's $150,000.
It's $82,000 just for the dog park.
Okay, and then the rest of it is for the
The fishing pier and the
Okay,
walking trail.
okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
And so,
It's not a elaborate dog park, but it's nice for Diamond Head community. We don't
Uh-huh.
want to put something up that's
Tacky.
doesn't fit our community. So
I
it
know
will
that.
have fabulous fencing.
okay. I just wanted to know why we needed the extra money. It's not just for the dog park, it's for the fishing pier, and what else?
And the parts that go with the dog park, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for your concern. Okay, now moving right along. City managers report.
Thank you, Mayor. Starting off with, we have the Bayou Drive kayak launch repairs. The engineer and I went and did a punch list review. There were 3 or 4 little items that he wanted to have the contractor come back out and fix. As soon as he does, he'll turn the site back over to the city. The contract end date on that one was April 12th, so he's definitely going to meet that timeline. Lily Pond and the I-10 pond, the contractor's working on that one. I may be a little overestimating, but for Lily Pond, he seems to be about 80% complete with the dredging on that one. But he should be finished probably within the next 2 weeks on Lily Pond, and then we'll move over to the I-10 pond and start the dredging on that one. The dirt that's getting excavated out of there is being stored and dried. Once it's all dry, we'll move it out to pick up sites for residents, and we'll let you know as soon as that happens. The current contract date, ending date on that is July 17th, and I feel like they're going to meet that date without any trouble. The Park 10 Road, just to give you a wonderful update, we received the will serve from Diamond Head Water and Sewer yesterday evening. So we are going to start the process on advertising that one out and hopefully have bids to you probably first week in June to review and approve. So hopefully we can get started on that and get that road construction started very soon. The Phase 4 paving, the project still is demobilized while we're waiting on Diamond Head Water and Sewer to finish up the project that they have at the top end of Bayou Drive and Bayou Circle. And as I was told, it should be ending up here in the next week to 2 weeks. So as soon as they get finished, then we can remobilize and get that paving project finished in that area. That will also include the striping of Golf Club Drive. I'm sure some of you probably have had residents question that and ask that question. They just haven't, since it's demobilized, they just haven't come back out and striped that road again. So I've had a few calls about that myself. Just a reminder, the city is hosting the Planning Commissioner Training, which will be on Thursday, April the 6th. As I said before, Tom Hood will be here to or will speak on ethics as well as legal from Paul Watkins, the Oxford City Attorney. It's an all-day event. It should be a great one, so hopefully all of you can attend that. Diamond Head Drive paving, the city received 50% drawings from the engineering firm. They're being reviewed by our city engineer, and we will get, as well as a copy was sent to Diamond Head Water and Sewer for their review. So that's in the process. We'll get that back and get moving forward on the rest of the drawings for that. The 3 projects that you guys approved last council meeting, the Drainage Area 41, Alamona Place, and Block 7 Phase 2, the engineer is starting on those 3, and we'll hopefully start seeing some progress and getting those drainage projects started and bid out. And last, McKeekee Drive, I'm going to let Derek speak on this as far as the latest update from the bonding attorney.
So the latest update, last time we were here, I had reached out to the bond attorney. We hadn't talked yet. Since that time, the law office and John and Jeannie have talked to the bond attorney, had a very productive call, outlined some different options that are going to be available to the city. We're weighing the options, but in the meantime, they've got about a 30-day internal review of, they're going to be looking at everything from the status of the project. They're looking at all the documents. We turned over a ton. I mean, we've turned over a couple of reams of paper to them, so they need time to go over that, obviously. They're going to be looking with, at every aspect of it and, coming up with their recommendation. In the meantime, we're going to be reaching back out to them and seeing if there's any ways that we can kind of short circuit that 30-day process. We've impressed upon them the 2 most important things. We've got a water line that's not connected right now, and we have a road that's closed. And so we're going, we're going to reach out again. We're going to communicate with them about any way of short circuiting this process so that we can get it either bid or quoted or, get this job done. So that's where we're at this point. But I'll keep you all posted. We should have, I don't think it's going to take them quite 30 days. And like I said, we're going to stay on them. So.
Okay, is there any questions to my left for the city manager? Any questions to the right? I have a few. So, Phase 4 road improvement, substantial completion date is April the 16th. We need to get a change order number 3 on the next agenda
We will.
to get a extension on the substantial completion, because we will be way past that. And you know how I feel about substantial completion dates. We asked you to check on the SIP plan.
Yes, I met with Ben, and we are working with, I can't tell you the name now. I don't have that in front of me, but we've started that process, and we're working on that one right
So what are you working on?
now. The Devil's Elbow drain, or dredging and cleaning that out. That's what we're trying to work on.
The SIP plan? You know, we already had a proposal for the SIP plan.
Right,
And
okay.
we had some residents, they were told that it was gonna take 4 years to get the funding, and that
Right.
one of the legislators was working on it, which
Right.
that is not a correct statement. Because we haven't started to apply, we hadn't
Correct.
done the work, we hadn't sought the grants.
That's correct.
So none of that was real information. So the information is we haven't started applying. You know, we've got residents, and I don't know if there's any here that live on Rotten Bayou, but we've got them,
Right.
and they're calling me. I know they've called a few of you here. They've called council members on the, they want to know where we are with getting the SIP plan done so that we can, and this isn't something you just walk into DC
No.
and get. You've got to have the footwork, you've got to
Right.
have the people, you've got to have the Corps walking with you, holding hands.
Right, and that's what I said. We met or spoke with, and I can't think of the guy's name right now. And he explained and laid all that out for us, and we know come, I want to say it's July is when it opens, and we'll have to start the process then.
Okay, well, it needs to get on the agenda who you're getting and what we're doing
Right.
before they start. We have to start working on it now, or
Right.
it will not be. And it takes trips to DC. This is not a very easy
Understand.
process.
I understand that.
It's a lot,
Right.
but it doesn't take 4 years. If you've got the right people working on it, it takes nowhere near that.
I'm not sure where 4 years is coming from. I mean,
I'm not
that
either.
was-
I had residents call and tell me that,
That was the
which,
discussion, you know, it can take anywhere
Mhm.
between 2 to 4 years.
okay, because I wasn't sure about that.
Oh.
That's what got back to me. And I
Okay.
said, no, sir, that's not correct.
Right.
Okay, then, I've been CC'd on a lot of emails with Pickering and discussion on, which I'm not even sure what it's about. So do you mind if I ask Kira to come up?
Certainly.
Mhm.
Evening, Council and Mayor.
Good evening.
I am assuming this is regarding Diamond Head Lakes.
It is,
It's a
on
back
all
and
the
forth.
emails that I've been on, and I see the back and forth between folks, and I guess we need clarification. The council's not aware of it, because I was the only one on it. I haven't reacted, I hadn't responded, and I have not spoken to you about this. So I just want, and I hope we have somebody here from Covington. Okay, so let's just, so why is all this, where are we? What are we doing?
So Diamond Head Lakes Phase 1 has made it through preliminary plat, approval of the plans, construction, and then approval of the construction. Substantial completion, final plat was approved by everybody here. After final.
Everybody. Go ahead.
We made it through final plat. So at the process now, they apply for building permits for each house. During the final plat process, we had grading and drainage plans approved for each individual lot grading. Since then, those same plans are being submitted and then they're being questioned. So we submitted multiple times between July and November of last year with the city engineer to get this approved. Everything was approved. We made it to the end. We made drainage improvements they requested at the point. Now here we are, how many months later, submitting the same thing that was already approved and being asked for additional drainage improvements. Dealing with other municipalities, it doesn't normally happen in that manner, just because at this point, families are going to be moving in. You don't want to be digging up your brand new road to put in drainage after the fact. We're working on it. We're trying to come to an agreement on what we can do, but there has been a lot of back and forth, really, because I think the clarity of what was approved and what we're being asked to do now after the fact, after approval. I don't have really an action item, just informing what was going on and where we are today.
Okay, so where are we now with this? Are we moving ahead?
Not at the moment. I've responded back to Andrew. We've kind of talked a little bit last Friday about getting together, me and him, and seeing what we can do. My concerns moving forward once we meet, and if I do propose, the real concern with me is if Pickering comes back and we propose more improvements like we did last time, we do those improvements, are we going to get questioned again 5 lots down the road that isn't at capacity, because we're having those same questions now. So my real concern is, should the city engineer be taking responsibility of these additional requests after approval of everything? We were not the original design engineer. We're being asked about things of post and pre-runoff of drainage. It brings into account a liability and question after the fact and after approval. I guess
So that's
really-
your concern tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
And so we're clear, Carrie, you're here on behalf of Elliott Homes, you're not representing the city with respect to this project?
Correct, yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we were.
Yes.
So who reviewed the plans? I know we paid an engineer too.
Covington Engineering, the city engineer would review.
But I think digital also had reviewed.
Probably originally.
Yeah.
Because I want to know who reviewed the plans. If they're changing now, then why do we pay somebody to review them?
I think, good evening. I think
Good
one of
evening.
the issues is there's just been a lot of different people involved with this. As
Okay.
Kara mentioned, somebody did the preliminary design on it. When Kara got involved, the road was already there. I believe another engineering firm may have done that initial review. I know we were out there a good bit once Pickering got involved, and I do know that we had that opportunity to review. The issues that have risen lately is just on seeing how it's functioning out there. There's a couple of, it generally has the water just sheet flow across the roadway. It appears to be backing up on one side. Even some of the road elevations that I've seen would indicate that it's not gonna just flow across like it's intended to per design. Kara and I spoke. I think that we're in agreement that something needs to happen, but we've been just kind of going back and forth, and last time we spoke, we said, we'll get together, the two of us, and figure out where we can find some middle ground, and then we'll do that. So that was the last correspondence we had on it.
Well, we need to find some, we need to find some ground, because we don't want any more litigation between this and that and this. We're done with it. We got people on Makiki that can't get in their homes. The road's been closed off. It's 4 months. Councilman Finley and I received an email today. It's been 4 months. When are you opening our road? They're being very patient, but we're tired. We're tired, and we don't want people unhappy. So you all are going to work together, you said, and get this?
Yes, I mean, I was trying to go through, I've been out there a couple times since then, and just saying that way, I haven't brought these up to Kara, these issues, but there's, the entire project is undisturbed, and you've got a pond and everything else. I think there's some vegetation that needs to be in place. I think that that's been communicated maybe from the city to maybe Elliott. I don't know if you know about that, but I was trying to make sure that whatever issues or objections we still have, that we get it all noted now.
Has Digital Engineering been notified that their plans that they approved are not not?
And just so, I'm not entirely sure that it was Digital, but I've been told that it was another firm. I'm not sure who it was.
But Andrew, at this point, your firm Covington is ensuring that as these homes are built, that we don't end up with a ginormous drainage mess. Is that correct?
Correct.
So your interest is protecting the city, protecting these homeowners, because as we've seen in the past, we don't want to be in a situation where we have new homeowners rushing to get in. They've got all kinds of drainage problems, and they're going to be looking to the building official saying, why did you approve it? The building official is going to say, Andrew, why'd you recommend it? And we're going to end up in litigation that way. So your job and the building official's job is to make sure before we issue any COs, we're convinced that this is going to work. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Because we've seen it happen in Diamond Head. I've seen COs issued so many times, and drainage projects. Hilo Street, that was an example of a drainage project from a new build. Hanley Place, Hanley Circle, that was a new build. Diamond Head Drive North, new build. Kaliki Place, new build. So, I mean, we've seen it over again. We're tired of seeing it. We don't want litigation. We know, in my emails, I'm seeing you all, you know, not in a nice place. We want Diamond Head to be a good place where we can all work together and.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Well,
I mean,
that- does
Karen and I
anybody-
actually spoke, and we,
Okay.
afterwards, and we said, hey, you know, it's, I mean, everybody's got their role to play, so we gotta do our part. We can always do better, though, that's true.
Well, thank you. Thank you both.
So from our standpoint, we're not trying to not improve the drainage or not do something that's requested. We're more concerned about continuing to have to do improvements because we keep getting requests after things are approved by the city in the city's best interest, and then they're saying, no, we need more changes. So that's our concern, is if we come and we give them to this agreement, say later this week, and we propose something, in a month from now on lot 46 or lot 52, are we gonna get asked the same thing or get told that the new improvement we made is not at capacity? So that's where our concern is coming in, and that's where we're questioning, should that be something that the city engineer stamps and that they put their name on since it's after the approval? Or, you know, is it something that we're supposed to take on? Not really sure, but we're trying to work it out.
Please try to work it out.
Are you aware of a house, and I don't know the address, so pardon me, but I was contacted about a house that's on the golf course, as part of that development that looks like it's got some kind of retaining wall, and residents are worried it's gonna just, like, if this is super close to the course. Do you know which house I'm talking about, that they think it's like gonna fall in?
I'm not sure.
Do you know?
I do not know specifically.
The only one that I'd be aware of would be probably like lot
One?
one or two, right there. where
You're not
the
sure?
house on Pike
John, do
Street.
you know which house?
That's all I could think of, but.
Okay, I'll get some more info, but while you were here, I just wanted to ask, because
There is.
some concern. Do you know which one?
I do. So in that subdivision, the golf cart path was actually on Elliott Homes property. And that's the one when you're coming around
Mhm.
by the pond?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, that's the one I know you're talking about.
So,
Because the path was actually on the
does
property.
something need to happen to,
I don't know. I don't,
Shoot
I'm
me
not
an
even
email
gonna comment.
Or phone call, something.
Yes,
Let me know.
but-
I'm happy to look into
okay,
it.
well, we'll get you some more info, if that's something, I guess, that needs to be looked into. Sounds like a problem.
Let me know.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you both.
Well,
So I did have another question on Hanley Circle. So I'm going to go out of order real quick because I see we have a public comment. Mr. Durrell, you want to come up on public comments? Because you're the only person left that needs a public comment. And this is on Hanley Circle. Place, circle, it's all flowing to the circle. Not yet, but it will one day.
I'm the highest point in the elevation over there. I'm plus 35 feet. So I should never flood, never have flood. I'm flooded now. How many people on the council came out and looked when they did the new house permit? The answer is they don't, and you came. Nobody else came. How many in the council looked to see what the problem was? Plus, Nancy, how many people came out to see when it was raining? Nancy did 5 times. So, Chuck, I'm gonna ask you now, why didn't you come?
Well, I'm not a professional person to see what the issues were stemming from. I'm not trained specifically in doing that. I've seen the videos, I've seen the pictures, I've heard the reports from the engineering city manager. I mean, I don't know what else I would bring to the party as far as, yes, this is what we need to do, this is what we need to do. I mean,
You could have gave me a little bit moral support.
And I go out and look when it's raining because I love drainage, and that's a passion that not many people have.
I love drainage too. I got an instrument that shuts
But I
the
do.
drainage.
So what did you want to discuss on this tonight?
I want to discuss everything, if you give me a chance, but, I can discuss it this time, can bring it up next meeting, but something's gotta be done. Not only with the drains on this thing, but with the building permits you'll have.
Did the engineer go out to his house?
Mr.
I know
Durrell,
they was,
we
supposed
went
to
out-
have gone out too long ago.
Public Works went out to your house and was going to dig the swale between your house and Steve's house on the 20th or 21st, I'm not sure which, and you stopped them and would not allow them to do the work that they were going to do. Correct?
I stopped him, he was gonna dig a trench.
Yes, they were
Where
going
the
to dig a
white line
trench
is.
to move the water all the way down to the end of the property line. And then they were going to move it from there
That's
to
not-
between the two houses behind you.
That's not what the drainage project says.
Well, we have changed the drainage project already by digging that, or building the berm up already. So the water is collecting where you showed me in the picture, it's collecting. So my public works director said, well, we'll move it on, finish it all the way down to the end of the property line, and then move it on out. And you stopped them and would not let them do the work and refused them.
So we have a drainage plan that the city paid for the builder by Machado Patano.
Right, and
Yeah.
it shows that. It
And
shows
it
it going to
shows
the
a
corner,
berm.
going
No,
to
no.
to the center, and then down that next easement.
That the city had, that the builder had done.
Yeah.
It was a drainage plan, Machado Patano. So there was an inlet at the beginning of the driveway,
Right,
Okay.
but that inlet wasn't put in.
that's right.
So maybe if we start with that. So we've got residents back here that you all are the ones that have your fence gonna be taken down. And so originally,
But the problem was to be addressed, and he has refused allowing us to address it. So I mean, not trying to be ugly to you, Darrell. I'm just saying, we tried to go and do the work you're asking us to do, and you would not let them do it.
I asked
Okay?
you,
So
I asked you to do that
we're
work?
trying to, yes, we're trying to get the water off of his property to through the easement, to the next easement and on down the line. Now, I agree with Mr. Denmark. It's awful that we have to dig that swale down through his property, but that's where the water has to go.
You
And
have
that's
to-
all there is to it.
you have to
Now,
look at the
It makes
Machado.
him remove his fence, unfortunately, but we have to get there to get our easement, or
If-
through our easement and get our
If
ditch through
you
there.
follow the Machado Patano plan, the
That's
water
exactly what it asked for.
follows through the backyard.
That's exactly it.
Not across the fence to Hanley Circle. So Machado Patano had a totally different plan. The first vision he had was to do that, but we realized it was too difficult with the fences and digging the ditches. So all we're asking is for you to look back at the Machado Patano plan,
Okay.
which the rear yard drains along the fence lines. There is a big concrete swale going on the side of his yard all the way down. The water will get out going through that. The problem we've got is in the front yard. So we have a berm and it looks fabulous, but when you get to the front of the street, that inlet isn't there. Can we review the Machado Patano plan in the
I'm not
field?
aware of that one, but I will.
I know,
if
and
we
I
can
don't-
find it,
I got a
we
copy of
will.
all the plans.
In your
But
defense, you
that's not
hadn't
what-
seen it.
But that's not what Darrell showed me the other day. He showed me where the berm is and where a puddle of water is collecting
Okay.
right beside
and you,
another 5-10 feet to the end of his property line.
you told me that they're gonna dig a trench across the back of his place, not on my property. Didn't you tell me that?
We said we'd dig it in the easement, and in the easement means some of yours, some of Steve's. That's the easement. That's where, that is our property, or our right of way to dig, for drainage.
Let me go on with this thing. Survey was done by Building Department September 14, 2001. Had a conversation with the lower building, a slab 12 inches higher than my garage. 12 inches high, lower 12 inches. The slab right now, elevation floor level, or the slab, is 42 and a half feet above my garage. 42 and a half feet, yeah.
42 and a half
Half
inches.
I'm sorry, 42 and a half inches. Machado Pachana came out there and looked at it and said, we gotta do something. You got a problem. No, I got a problem. Always had a problem. So, in this process, they were doing all of Diamond Head. Talked to the man over here in the council chambers. He said he's sure that the builder's gonna lower the slab 12 inches, which is gonna give you some relief. So I talked to the builder. I said, you gonna lower the slab? Can't lower the slab. Why not? If I lower the slab now, it's gonna cost me $1,200, $2,000. $2,000? You don't have nothing but boards, not even a peg drill. They had a stop work order permit on it. Somebody lifted a stop work order permit immediately. Builder started building again. Covington Engineering came out. They did a survey on the thing. This lot has been surveyed 4 or 5 times, and nothing that they're gonna do is gonna stop the water from coming on my property. If they do it according to the survey. Man, I tell you right here. Not gonna do it according to the survey. When Bo came out with the sewage and water pump, Diamond Head Department, Building Department, he said, like Nancy said, where's the drainage? Where's the drainage pipe? I don't know what you talk about drainage pipe. There's supposed to be some drainage pipes coming off of this. Collection basin for it to come in and go out to the back. Know nothing about that. All right? So, came to the city. I said, I want to see all the drainage surveys done on the property from 2001 until the present date. Had to pay for the service. I got them. In the surveys, it shows that there's drainage coming off the property, going into a collection basement, going out to the back. The same thing that Stanley By Church, old Stanley. He's not with us anymore. I talked to Stanley about it. He said, well, my problem is, your problem is, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to stop that water from coming in. They got to dig a trench out on people behind you. Never did they say they're going to dig on my property. Never did they. What happened? He got fined. Or he quit. What'd you quit for, Stanley? I was hard-headed. So I got the surveys. All the surveys that were done on the property. And never did they ever say they're going to come on my property. The house was the first house built on that street. The first house. We never did have a flood problem. Never had any water staying on that property until the builder came out there and started his construction. Now, I think the builder should be responsible for it. But who am I? I'm just a man. I'm not the city council. I can't hold nobody accountable for it. So Mike Russo's going to take care of it. Oh, yeah. There old Mike. Good fella. Me and him and I got along great until I started asking some questions about the property. And all of a sudden, he quits. Boom. Up going to St. Bay, St. Louis. So I got John McCraw over here. Took his place. Good man. Talked to John. Oh, we're going to take care of it. We're going to take care of the problem, Mr. Pellegrin. We're going to take care of it. I'm nowhere near completion than I should be. The people have been living in the house over a year and a half. Not living in the house, living in the community for a year and a half. They've been in the house about 6 months. Now, how are they going to tell the people, brand new house, they got a drainage problem? Every time it rains, the little rain we had the other day, that's what I told John. Water come up in the swell. Now, Tidy came out there. He put some dirt on top of it. But where the dirt stops is where the water goes. It's going to bring me some grass when the grass gets cheaper. I've been waiting on grass for 4 or 5 months. If you don't want to do nothing, tell me you don't want to do nothing. You can't do nothing. But damn it, do something.
Well, it sounds like they tried. No?
Huh?
Did they not try to do something?
What he did?
Well,
What he did, Chuck? You went and look? Look and see what y'all did.
We tried to come out there and dig the swell, and you would not allow them to do it.
No, because
Because it is going to be between both properties are going to have the swell dug. I mean, it's just the way that is.
I want to make this clear.
It's in the easement.
This is not swell problem.
Well, you want the water to drain, and that's what you do,
Let
is
me
put it
finish.
into a
Let me-
ditch and let it go.
Let me finish.
I understand.
So, when David Mallon started building that thing, he decided to put a swale in there, make a swale for his tractor. From the front of the house, goes down, and comes back up again, instead of going on people behind me. I looked at it and said, David, that's not gonna work. You got a low spot there. Well, I'm gonna get permission. Mike was over here, I don't know who gave him permission. Then all of a sudden, what's an occupancy permit? Ain't you supposed to sign off on something to get an occupancy so people can buy a house? Do I have a drawing on the occupancy permit that says this? No. Council says 2 permits were given. Yeah, got 2 permits. I don't know what 20 signed off on. No, 2 permits on the drainage. What does on an occupancy permit? Who signs off on it?
The building official.
The building official? So Ty and Bo, Mr. Jones, went over there and signed off on it, didn't he?
Ty was not here. Mm-mm. Were you here, Ty, at that point? No, he was not here.
No, Mr. Jones came out there with his own instrument. Well, we on, it's a number.
Okay, so we're at a point now, we've got residents from Hanley Circle here frustrated, Hanley Place, and we've got drainage that's a problem.
I could fix the drainage if they give me a shovel, 15 minutes.
Can we look at the Machado Patano drainage plan that he thoroughly designed that worked to get the drainage and get the work done that was not done on the drainage plan, and then you should be fine.
We can. I believe that one is the one that requires it to dig the swell between Denmark and Escher's home in the back, getting it to the house or to the ditch on the other side of the road.
And the issue there is they also don't want their fence down or their easement dug. At some point, and we're going to run into this problem. This is not just a Mr. Pellegrin or Mr. Escher problem. Throughout the city, you heard Ben last week with Covington talk about $2 million for ditch stabilization. We are going to be doing work in easements. There are a lot of fences and easements in the city. And, you know, the easement gives the city the right and the obligation to maintain those easements. We do not require permission to do it. There are certain, we have to get water moving. And sometimes, you know, water may go by your property. You don't have a problem, but your neighbor does. And we've got to widen your ditch or dig your ditch. And it may require a fence to come down.
They don't have
The
to. they don't-
Machado Patano drainage plan did not include the rear yard. He
Yeah.
found a way to do it without the side yards and the rear
There
ditch.
were several Machado Patano plans, so I'm not sure.
The final last one that should have been followed. That
Well-
one is the one, and he did it with a good design where you don't have to dig in the rear yard. So if we implement that, you all will have to go visit this site to see, you know, we're looking at a house that's up 4 feet. His garage is down really low, so the driveway does you gotta go out there and visit.
No, I mean, I know you've got a problem. I'm not arguing.
Mhm.
I just know you're trying. I mean,
And the garage.
right.
He moved the fence. He don't have to move the fence in the back.
Okay, well, can we give him a chance?
We will
John,
find
can
that
you
plan. We
report
will
at
search
the
for that
next
plan. Yes.
city council meeting, give us a report, because we've got a lot of residents here. If you review the Machado Patano, it does not have rear yard ditches and side yard, because we couldn't, Mr. Escher, he couldn't get in, so he did a plan without it. And part of that was the berm and the inlet that was not put in.
I will search for that
Inlet
plan.
is-
And I'll send it to you, because I think I may have a copy.
If you can't do nothing, tell me you can't do nothing. But I think anybody.
Mr. Jarrell, they're gonna work on it at the next meeting, which is April the 18th. We'll have a report.
All right. A report saying you can't do nothing or you can do something.
A plan on what we're gonna do.
Or plan on what you're gonna do.
Can we have a plan, John? Yes. And the Machado Patano plan is already done, so it should not be.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all. Okay. I believe there was no other public comments, correct? Okay. Now moving on to the minutes. Motion to approve the March 21st, 2023 regularly scheduled meeting minutes.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lacey. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. All in favor? Aye. 2023-181, motion to adopt resolution 2023-017, thereby declaring the necessity for and authorizing the use of barricades at the club in Diamond Head on April 14, 2023 for the Marine Corps League charity golf tournament and outdoor event and for other related purposes. Could I get a motion? Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilwoman Lacey. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? I just have one thing to say. That's our dog park day, April 15th, and we're going to need about 20 barricades out on the south side.
Well, they only need it on that Friday night, so we're gonna move that morning.
Yes, but I don't know, I didn't know if they would need them through the night, through the day. Okay. All in favor? Oh, it's a resolution. City
Councilmember
Clerk.
Finley,
Yes.
Councilmember Lacey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cumberland,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark.
Yes.
Councilmember Marr,
Yes.
Mayor DePriyo.
Yes. Consent agenda. Before we move on to that, I just want to make a statement about the Bayou Drive kayak launch. It looks amazing. The contractor did. Have y'all been out? You went out? No? You need to go out there. It looks really, the roadway's beautiful, did an outstanding job. I did mention to John today if we could put a sign up because it looks like the ramp is for a handicap and we don't want people to think that that's what it's for, because my first thought was, yes, it is. It's not ADA accessible, so we need to watch that. Put up a sign on that, but that turned out nice. Okay.
Is
Could
it
I-
open?
I believe I need to wait for the contractor to finish up those last few list items.
Because I got to see it, but only because the Public Works is working
We're
there.
down there working, I understand.
So could I get a motion to approve consent agenda items 2, 3, 5,
3 through
4,
11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Cumberland. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. All in favor?
Aye.
Could I get a motion to direct P&Z to include an architectural review board in the new code rewrite?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilwoman Lacey. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Cumberland. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right?
I'll just say that my intent with this is to send it to P&Z so that it can be fully explored and discussed. There can be public hearings, public input, and then it will, of course, come back to the council. But I thought that was probably the best way to do it, to involve the public and for transparency's sake, and get everybody on board. And I'm hopeful that at the planning training on Thursday, people will get more acquainted with the idea, and we'll see where it goes. But that, I thought, was the proper avenue, and therefore I made this motion.
That probably is, and with the new code rewrite. So when we're doing the new code, does this mean when we're updating the ordinances and all in conjunction? Because that's where I have the biggest concern.
It is. I mean, so you're gonna, as we talked last time, you're gonna see a bunch of kind of edits and a kind of a complete rewrite of the zoning ordinance. And so, you know, we've talked about the sign ordinance. That's already on Orion's list of things to take a look at, and this will be added to that.
Anna,
Okay.
I just have one question about the wording. If what you just said is so, wouldn't it be better to say motion to direct P&Z to explore an architectural review board into the new code rather than to include? It already sounds like it's a done deal then.
I would be happy to amend the motion to change the wording. That is a great suggestion. Let's please amend that to delete include and change that to explore.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? 2023-189, motion to direct city manager to explore the creation of a new position to encompass recreation department supervision as well as other duties as assigned, and report back to the council with a proposed job description and funding source. Could I get a motion?
Move.
Could I get a second?
Second.
So motion was made by Councilman Cumberland, seconded by Councilman Lisi. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? I have a lot of discussion on this one. We don't have a park and rec department, first of all. We have the kayak launch on Bayou Drive, the kayak launch on Vought Circle, and we have the Veterans Park.
Yes, ma'am. I would also include Jex Drive in this, being that it needs to be taken care of on a more regular basis than just with our Public Works Department. But then also all the other amenities that are being added was the reason I had suggested this the first time. And I actually went back into our budget and took a look through there. Our Public Works salary budget, I jumped ahead on you, Ms. Lisi. Is currently $523,900, so $524,000. With our current positions and with the addition of this position, our salary for the FY23 budget will end only at $433,632. So roughly about $90,000 savings. And the reason for that is we had 3 additional positions that we still have not filled. We also had a supervisor position that he retired on us, and we did not refill as well. So that's what saved us a lot of money so far this year. So there is additional money within this budget already.
Why haven't we filled those positions? Because Public Works is nonstop. That is a department that is a mover and a shaker in this city.
It's hard to find people. We actually just had 2 new people that we look like we'll be able to hire here. We also had one of our gentlemen who has been out on FMLA for quite some time, so we just couldn't fill the position until either he retired or his FMLA expired. So that just saves you salary, unfortunately, in there. But even with that, and then I look forward to FY24, next year's salary. If no one got a pay raise, so just looking forward at moving everybody up with this position, we would still actually save about $7,500 with a public work or with a Parks and Rec supervisor.
What are you looking at for this position as a salary?
I'll be honest, I don't have that in front of me, so I don't really know. I have to go back and look and see what I put down.
Weren't you talking before about having it like kind of a hybrid position? It would encompass other duties.
I would feel like for at least this year, for sure, since as Mayor DePrio said, we really don't have a lot of additional Parks and Rec that we would have to maintain. So yes, I was kind of looking at this as hopefully a code enforcement / Parks and Rec department. Or even our position in the court department that has been empty since our individual retired or resigned from there. So just something to kind of work the position together, as well as I said last time, we've got to start moving forward and looking ahead to grants and other opportunities that are available for next year, and we got to start applying for those now. So if we don't have somebody doing it, it kind of stops you. But this person would also be in charge of all of the different projects that we have and or programs that we have, such as the dog park, Cruising the Coast, 4th of July, all of those things, and just be responsible and kind of making sure all of that gets worked out and maintained. It is, as Mayor DePrio said, the Public Works are busy and they've got a lot going on, and this is just not something that they can handle right now as kind of a separate activity. And that's what I was hoping we could start with somebody who could handle or who would be able to focus on this specifically, and especially if we look forward to other amenities being added on to the city.
And I think in due time, that will happen. I would love to see, the Public Works is doing an outstanding job. Ty, thank you. Y'all are just, you got it going on. Public Works has got it going on. I can't even say anything negative. I think he needs more people to help him at this point because we're always running short. And what happened to our maintenance contract with Jex Drive with the POA? Because they were doing a fabulous job.
Jack's Drive, the POA turned that over to us at the end of December.
Okay, but we had a bonding contract and it hadn't been on the agenda to terminate it.
They terminated it on their end.
Well, we need to terminate it also.
I mean, at this point, they terminated it. Either side could terminate it. I think it was 30 or 60 days
30
notice.
days, I think.
And so they gave us notice. They terminated it.
Because they were doing, and I think they terminated it because we never did pay them, but they never did send an invoice, so we didn't know we didn't pay them, but they have the golf course equipment, and not that it's not looking good. So I think that's just my personal opinion. I feel we need more help with Public Works in the field because I know everybody is going nonstop. And maybe after we get a few more park and recs, I would love to explore the Park and Recs department. I spoke with both these attorneys whenever we're doing the senior center about, well, we don't have a Park and Rec, so you can't put the senior center under the city. Looking at the Park and Recs, but there is a lot of work that has to be done before, to even get that set up. That's something maybe you all could start working on and looking at.
Well, Mayor, I think that's what this motion is to explore, not to actually create the Parks and Rec manager position, but to explore what it would be like and how would we go about doing it and why.
This is a position. That's not what I'm talking about. I would like to explore a park and recs for the city of Diamond Head. First, let's get the department set up, and then we hire somebody that fits the needs to the department that we have set up with what the residents want. We've got to get public input. We've got to know what the residents want. Instead of getting the person and fitting our park and recs around it, we need to get community outreach, get our Ryan in here, let's set up the park and recs, and then we get somebody that fits the needs that we have. That's just my thoughts. Okay, any more discussion?
Yes. So John, just so I'm clear, that's not your intent right now, is we want to have something ready in the event that we do decide to establish a Parks and Rec department, right? So we're not.
Certainly.
So I don't see the harm in asking you to write a job description and come back to us with a salary range and, hey, here's where it could, just so if we need it, it's in our back pocket. I just don't see the downside to that.
I can do that for you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Roll call. Sorry.
Finley,
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Cumberland.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Marr.
Yes.
Mayor.
No. All right. Could I get a motion to approve the docket of claims, DKT 230577, DKT 230612, in the amount of $310,351.62?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Finley. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Clark. Any discussion to my left? Any discussion to my right? The only thing I've got to say is that same vendor's on there that I know we have somebody in Diamond Head that does. We have, I don't know if have y'all ever seen Mow Life, and they fix mowers and they do a lot of machine.
Yeah, but they don't carry the same parts for, different.
Okay.
They
Well,
carry different
and I'm
parts.
just saying, reach out, our hardware store.
We did. We reached out to them, and none of them could do it.
None of them had it?
And so the
Okay.
other one is the one that's actually able to handle that. But once we can find or hopefully employ our new mechanic, that whole thing will probably go away.
Okay, good deal. Thank you. So, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Could I get a motion to approve the February 2023 financial report?
Move.
Did you move?
He moved.
Councilman Finley, could I get a second? I thought you said.
Second.
Second, Councilman Clark. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Non-agenda public comments, I don't see on here. Is there any need for executive session? Is there any need for any additional business for the council? Thank you all for coming out tonight. Thank you to all the residents. Could I get a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Motion made by Councilman Clark. Could I get a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Marr. All in favor?